And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Super duper late start. Technical difficulties left and right. But we're finally going to get this thing rolling. Give it a few minutes here. See what's going on. Let me see. What's going on? Anybody in the chat yet? Woo! Man. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I think it's just me and you, Dan. I think it's just me and you. I did get started late, and I was having some technical difficulties. So I don't really know if anybody even knows I'm going live right now, to be honest with you. I might be shutting this puppy down. Trying again for. If anybody even knows I'm going live right now, to be honest. Oh, man. I might shut this one down and try again for next week. Tried to get started earlier, but it didn't. Oh, Ashley, hey. Yeah, I got started late. Kiddos wouldn't go to sleep and trying to get them to go to bed. It's crazy. But how you doing, Ashley? Filthy Dan, I watched your Halloween 4 review, dude. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I agreed with pretty much everything that you said, to be honest with you. Oh, man. Oh, so how you guys doing today? Pretty good? Oh, man. I ain't as good as Jason at doing these. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, man. Let me see. Oh, man. Working late, Ashley. I haven't worked nights in a long time. I don't miss that whatsoever. I'll tell you that. Yeah, no problem, Dan. I really did like that one. What are you thinking about for Halloween 5? You excited for that one, or I know I didn't enjoy that movie whatsoever. to be honest. But there is a movie that I do enjoy, and I wish there was more people in here to talk about it, because honestly, it's one of my favorite movies ever since I was a little kid. And that, my friends, is The Monster Squad from 1987. This movie actually just turned 33 years old. This movie's older than I am by a year, but still older. And I've been watching this movie ever since I was a little kid. Going to the video store, getting my mom and dad to rent me this movie. It's probably the nostalgia for this movie, to be honest, is the reason that I love it so much. Because I'm not really a huge fan of the Universal monsters, to be honest with you guys. I never really got into the Wolfman and Dracula and the Mummy and all that type of thing. Yeah, so this movie's as old as you. So when this movie came out, it bombed at the box office. Critics didn't like it. The fans didn't like it. It didn't do too hot whatsoever. But something about it for me, and obviously for Wolfman's Got Nards, he freaking loves this movie. It's one of his favorite movies. It's a classic for me. I know they were talking about possibly remaking it. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I wouldn't like it or want to see a remake of this movie. I just don't think that they would honestly do it justice, to be honest with you. It kind of seems like it'd be more of, they might take it like a Stranger Things kind of route, or I don't know, maybe make it a little bit darker, like the kids from It Chapter 1 when they were younger. They might take it that route, but it probably wouldn't have the same charm. They try to go blockbuster. They try to go CGI effects, and I just don't think this movie really needs that stuff in it to be as a cult classic as it has become. Honestly, when I first get on these online chats and whatnot, I honestly didn't think anybody. Chris Snyder, what's up, man? It's cool. I got started late anyway, man. Yeah, we're talking the Monster Squad. Honestly, I didn't know anybody even knew what that was, to be honest with you guys. It was hard to find the DVD. It wasn't something that you're going to go to Walmart and, just buy the Monster Squad. It ain't just going to be in the Walmart shelf. You got to go on Amazon or eBay or whatever, any of them online sites to try to find it. Luckily, now Best Buy, they got the Blu-ray, so I definitely had to get that. The freaking transfer, it looks amazing. It's way better than the DVD that I have. But there's something about it. Something about this movie. Jason Ike, what's up, dog? Hey, buddy. I got started super late because of the kids, and I couldn't get my stuff to work, but we're giving it a go. We're talking a little bit of Monster Squad. This movie was actually directed by Fred Decker, who directed Night of the Creeps with Tom Atkins. I didn't know that until I was researching the Monster Squad a little bit. So I thought, Night of the Creeps is a good classic, too, that people love. Tom Atkins makes that movie. Everybody loves Tom Atkins in pretty much every role that he's pretty much ever played. He's a ladies' man. He's like America's man. We love Tom Atkins. But, so this guy, you would think that it'd be a decent flick, the Monster Squad, and people would get behind it, but I guess they really didn't know who they were kind of targeting it towards, because it came in with the PG-13 rating, which made it kind of a kids movie, but at the same time try to push it to get like more adults to go see it, but it's a movie about kids, so the adults weren't really into it. And that's probably one reason why it bombed at the box office and didn't make a boatload of profits. Like I said, the characters and the kids in the movie are all pre-teens. They're not even teenagers yet for the most part, except for Rudy. Rudy's that cool kid at the high school that everyone's afraid of because he kind of looks like a greaser, and People are afraid of him. But besides him, the rest of them are just preteens. You know, they're not into girls. They're into their monster club. You're right, Chris. Classic Tom Atkins. Love Tom Atkins in Halloween 3, by the way. And I love him in My Bloody Valentine 3D as well. I ain't gonna lie. That is one of my favorite remakes that there is. But using the Universal monsters, they were kind of, you would think that would have aimed at, a little bit of an older crowd because they were the ones that grew up as kids with the Universal monsters. But they just weren't into this interpretation of them, I guess. The way that they looked, the monsters in this movie, I thought they were spot on. I thought they were all pretty good, to be honest with you. The Wolfman transformation, I mean, for this being like a preteen kid movie, I enjoyed the Wolfman's, transformation. Dracula was pretty badass. They picked a really good actor to play Dracula. He fit the role perfectly. His voice kind of had a little bit of an accent. The Gill Man, even though he wasn't Creature from the Black Lagoon, he wasn't in the movie as much as the villains, but he was still there. I thought he looked really good. Frankenstein's Frankenstein. I mean, come on. He's going to look how he looks. He pretty much looks the same no matter what. So, I mean, in The Mummy, that was a creepy-ass mummy. I mean, not that I don't personally think mummies are very, very scary, creatures. I don't know what you guys think. But for the sake of this movie and the classic monsters of the times back in like the 50s and the 40s and 30s and whatnot, that's what you had. So Dracula is forming this team to go back and get his special amulet that he needs to I guess pretty much the plot of this movie is for Dracula to get the journal of Van Helsing and get the amulet and pretty much just destroy the world is pretty much the plot of this movie. While the Monster Squad is the only group out there that knows anything about these monsters and can put a stop to it. As silly as it sounds, it makes for a freaking very entertaining movie, at least to me anyway. Everything about this, all the characters, we got Sean, the leader of the Monster Squad, and his sister Phoebe, that he picks on her the whole entire movie, won't let her up in the club, blah, blah, blah. But she's the one that becomes friends with Frankenstein, and she's the one that gets Frankenstein in their group, and Frankenstein has a heart for her, so he's going to go against Dracula, and there's nothing Dracula can do to change Frankenstein's mind. He's not going to be controlled. He doesn't go along with the plot. So I thought that was pretty... It explained Frankenstein's character more. He's not just a Walking Dead guy brought back to life. He actually has a heart. He has feelings, and he cares about this little girl that he just met. And she's not afraid of him at all because she's a naive little kid, and she doesn't know any better. And she has a good heart. So... who else? The rest of the Monster Squad. We got, I guess he'd be the second in command. We got Sean's best friend, Patrick. We got the chubby kid, Horace. And then that's whenever Rudy joins the club because they were picking on Horace for being a fat kid and making him eat a Snickers that felt, And then the little tiny tyke, Eugene. So it's kind of like, honestly, the Monster Squad is pretty much us as the horror community. We're kind of the outcasts. Horror movies, don't live up to these huge standards. People, they don't win no awards for shows. They don't win no Oscars. None of the actresses usually, you know what I mean? So we are kind of the Monster Squad. And I guess that's another reason I kind of appreciate this movie, because nobody would ever trust these kids to save the world. But look who did save the world, these little tiny kids. They put a plan together. They knew what they had to do to stop all these monsters. I can't say if I was that age that I would have had the balls to do anything that these kids did. They're going up against some of the scariest monsters on the planet. And they might have been scared, but they put their scaredness aside to save the world. And I know it's a kid movie, but it has some intense moments whenever they're trapped in Dracula's castle, like his mansion thing. And we got the Brides of Frankenstein coming down one hallway, the Wolfman coming down one hallway, and Dracula coming down the other. When you're a young kid, that's some scary shit when you're a young kid like that. But the famous line comes from Horace, obviously, whenever he kicks the Wolfman in the nards, which is where the saying came, Wolfman's got nards. Because, of course he got nards. He's a human. He just turns into a wolf. So, of course he's going to have balls. But they didn't know that. And that's where the famous line comes from. And that's where good old Wolfman got his YouTube channel name from. Which is a heck of a channel, by the way. Love his accent. Sean and the Monster Squad in this movie, they're the ones who actually have Van Helsing's diary. So Dracula got all the monsters together to go get them, to take the diary from the Monster Squad, and Dracula needed help to get to the amulet because it was surrounded by crosses and stuff. So he wasn't even able to get to it. However, the Van Helsing journal, of course, couldn't be in English. They got to put that shit in German. And that's where the scary German guy comes. You think he's a scary-ass dude. They're always afraid of him. He's the nicest old dude there is. He was in a concentration camp. And obviously he knows all the story. He was behind the background of this journal and whatnot. The background of the amulet. And he says, "Who wants another slice of pie?" I don't know if I'm going to eat pie from a dude I just met. I don't know if anybody in the chat would eat pie off a dude they just met. I personally wouldn't. But they're kids. They're naive. They don't know. Different time back in the 80s, I guess, than compared to now. Nowadays, you wouldn't even go in a scary guy's house you don't know. Ever. But they told him that if they get the amulet and they say the passage in German, all the monsters will go away and they'll go to limbo and they'll be trapped there. So that's the whole basis of this movie. And like I said, the fans back in the 1987 didn't like it. The critics didn't like it. I think it cost I saw $4 million to make, and it made a whopping $12 million. That's it. I mean, they profited $7 million over the budget, but after paying everybody and whatnot, it probably didn't make that much money. And obviously, they weren't making a sequel. Yes, hell yeah, Jason. The 80s did rock. That's honestly my favorite music is from the 80s, to be honest with you. The movies in the 80s were awesome. The music was awesome. The clothes, I'm not really a fashion guy. But you can't beat the slashers of the 80s. They keep trying to do them now, but it just doesn't work. I don't know if they'll ever get back to the charm that the 80s had. Probably not. So that's why now they got to go for gore. Audience is different, so now they got to be smarter. The audience wants to think in their horror movies compared to back in the day when they just wanted to see blood, ass, and tits. That was pretty much all horror movies were back in the day. Minus this one, of course, because it's only PG-13. Even though Rudy was trying to spy on Patrick's sister, I don't blame her when she lied and said she was a virgin. So they got her to read the German to open up the limbo. And of course, she was not a virgin. She just lied because she said it was with her boyfriend. That didn't count. Only if that was the case. But that ain't the case. Man. So, people in the chat, when was the... You would, Dan, wouldn't you? So when was the first time you guys seen this movie, you think? I would say I probably saw this movie for the first time probably when I was about 5 years old, I would say. And then, like I said, I used to get my parents to go to local grocery store, and they'd rent it for me at least probably once a week, I'd say. And then, obviously, as I grew up, kind of forgot about it. And then, as got older and matured, wanted to get back into it because it was always a favorite movie of mine. It kind of goes along with like yeah, you were a little bit older than me then, Chris. I was I said so I was about half as old as you whenever I saw it for the first time. But probably most people when they saw it for the first time probably were like, "Eh." Yeah, I think Jason. I think that's the problem. In the '80s, we didn't think about movies too much. I think that might be the. I think that is the problem with movies and whatnot nowadays, because you can't even make the most simplest movie without it getting torn apart. It could be the most basic premise. I know I'm probably guilty of it too. I don't want. I try not to be, but the basic, plot of a movie, and we will sit there and break it down piece by piece when that's not really what the movie's for. That movie is for us just to sit back, have something to drink, have some popcorn, and watch a flick. Not sit there and examine every single piece, every single line of dialogue, every character. It's just not necessary. And people say, "Oh, that movie, I don't like that movie. That movie's shit. The plot sucks." Blah 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 blah. Just sit back. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was gonna say this movie kind of runs in line. It runs in line with the Goonies, definitely, which I love the Goonies as well. I mean, it's a toss up between the Goonies and this. If I had to pick one, as much as it pains me to say this, honestly, I'd probably go with the Goonies. I'd probably pick the Goonies over the Monster Squad. As much as I love the Monster Squad, I think I love the Goonies just a little bit more. There's way more characters. Well, there's a ton more characters in there. You got Chunk. Love Chunk, the Truffle Shuffle, baby. I see it, Chris. I saw you quoting Dr. Loomis today about 10 times in your Halloween 4 review, which I enjoyed, by the way. I agreed with a lot of stuff that you said in that one, definitely. You said it was your second favorite in the franchise. I don't know if I got Halloween 4. I'll just say Halloween 4 is in the top 5. I won't go in any more detail. I'm saving that for October when I do ranking. But Halloween 4 is in the top 5. Goonies, top 5 all time. I could agree with you on that one. I could agree. You overthinking movies too, Ashley? Come on. I think we're starting to take the fun out of the movies and out of what we enjoy. Because we're just thinking way too much, and it's not. I mean, that's fine. We can do that. We can do it, but I think first watch it. Watch it for the love of the movie. Oh, yeah. I think week 5 is going to be interesting. How do you, without giving too much away from your review, obviously, are you a fan of Halloween 5 or not really? We all know how I feel about Halloween 5. I loved it growing up. I loved it watching it on AMC Fear Fest. But I think that's when the overthinking came back. That's when the overthinking came back to ruining movies. When you watch Halloween 5 and have to nitpick every stupid little thing instead of just sitting back and watching Michael do his thing. And that's the problem. Because yeah. That's You're right, Chris. That's what I try to do too. Even if the movie's a total shit show, still try to have a little bit of fun with it. Try to give some positives, even if the movie was terrible. Like, I mean, like Halloween 5, I'm not a huge fan of it anymore, but I can still pop it in and have a good time. I like some of the kills and whatnot. It's not a perfect Halloween movie by any means. I mean, a lot of it is pretty bad, since the director had no idea what he was doing. But still have a good time with it. I'm not gonna, if I'm doing a marathon of the Halloween movies, I'm not gonna skip over part 5 just because I don't like it. I'm gonna stick with it. I don't think there's really any Halloween movies I'll skip over in a marathon, to be honest with you. If we're just talking the original, if we're talking like the original Halloween series, I'll probably watch 1 through 8. And now, obviously, I'll watch Halloween 2018. I don't usually watch the Rob Zombie ones. If I watch them, I'll just watch them at a different time of year. I usually don't watch them around Halloween. I'm not a huge fan of them. I know when they first came out, I fell in love. At least with Halloween from 2007, I fell in love with. But once I watched it some more, I just lost the interest in it, to be honest with you. Oh man. But back to the Monster Squad. Back to the Monster Squad real quick. Would any of you think that a remake would be a good idea? Would that be something that you're interested in seeing, or is it kind of past its time? It wouldn't attract an audience today. Not that it did back in the day either, but I didn't know if the cult following that it had would help make it successful at the box office, or people would just write it off as a piece of garbage and wouldn't care. I mean, I personally, I guess I really don't care if there is a remake, but if they would, I wouldn't be against it. Whoa, come on. Chris Snyder, I don't know. I don't think Halloween was the first one I saw in theaters. I think the first one I saw in theaters was it was Resurrection, I think. And unfortunately, whenever Resurrection came out, I actually liked it. I don't know if I want to admit that to you guys, but I think I did. And obviously, but when it came out, I was 14 when Halloween Resurrection came out, so I kind of did enjoy it. But as I got older and watched it, it just doesn't age well whatsoever. It's actually it's really hard to get through. I'm not going to lie. And Filthy Dan, I do not ever skip H2O because that's one of my favorite Halloween sequels. I know it got Scream written all over it, but Scream was a kick-ass movie, so I'm fine with it. Yeah, Chris, I think you're right. That's what I said before. If they remake it now, it's going to be a Stranger Things kind of vibe. I think they should. I think they should let the Stranger Things thing die out before they do remake it, if they ever do. Which at this point, I honestly don't look for them to do that. 2008, they wanted to remake it. It got scrapped. 2010, I think they said Platinum Dunes wanted to remake it. It got scrapped. So don't think that is going to happen anytime soon. If ever. I'm going to go with probably not. But you never know. Never say never. These people could change their minds and finally give it a shot. Make the monsters come back. Make them, obviously, they'd probably be super creepy compared to what they were back in the day. But I just don't think there's an audience for this right now. People aren't into that simple horror stuff. They're into these psychological and these mental, like Hereditary and The Witch and all that kind of stuff. But different people have different tastes, and not everybody's going to like the same thing. So they might as well just go for it and just put it out. So you saw Resurrection in theaters 2 first, Ashley. What'd you think about it when you first saw it? Did you actually like it? Or did you hate it straight off the bat? I would hope you, Chris, and Dan would sit through it. Hey, if you're just doing the reviews, you're gonna have to watch that lovely film with my boy Busta Rhymes doing some bicycle kicks and roundhouse kicks and shit to the face. I don't know. I would like to see what test audience wanted more Busta Rhymes in the movie. Like, how was it so bad before they added Busta Rhymes, and then it just got even worse after they added Busta Rhymes? They keep putting out these different cuts of movies. Maybe they should put out a different cut of Resurrection. You should be. Resurrection is, yeah. That was probably the worst review that I've done out of the Halloween series. It had to be Resurrection. That movie has no heart whatsoever. Yeah, Ashley. I remember thinking, what am I watching? Because I don't blame you. See you, Jason. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be doing our thing soon. I just don't. If Monster Squad comes back, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be the first person in line to get some tickets to go see it. I ain't gonna lie. They might be able to add. Maybe they can add some more monsters, even more than there was before. You know, I know there's the Universal monsters, but I don't know. Maybe toss in something else. Toss in some other things. The creepier, the better. It's pretty much up to the kids that they would get to fill those roles. That's where the movie's gonna live or die. Just like Chris Snyder and Filthy Dan talked about in Halloween 4. Hey, Miss Carter, how are you? Just like they talked about in Halloween 4 review, if Jamie Lloyd's character, played by Danielle Harris, sucked, that movie would have no backbone. That movie would suck and it would fall flat. But she played the role of Jamie Lloyd so well that the movie stood up. The movie was good. It had a good plot, had good characters, and it was successful. Yeah, but you're in Colorado, Dan, so that shit's legal, so you might as well. That might be the only thing that gets you through that movie. But, so it was... Oh, man. Now you got me off on the tangent again on Halloween Resurrection. Oh, man, I love Halloween Resurrection. So good. So good. We got all them good characters. We got the best final girl ever. And I think, what is her name? Sarah? She can't scream. She can't act. Yeah, it's good shit. And then Michael Myers. I didn't like Michael Myers in Resurrection either. I preferred him in H2O, but most people hate Chris Duran. I liked it better than Brad Lorre in Resurrection, but that's just my opinion. Damn. It's like I was saying, they just got to get that core. Mrs. Carter, we are talking about Monster Squad and why I love it and if I think they should remake it. So we got to just get exactly. We have to get top-notch kid actors in this show. Because if you get kids that nobody falls in love with and nobody cares about, the movie's just going to fall flat. And it's just going to be another freaking remake. Not that we really need remakes, because there are no original ideas in horror anymore, or movies for that matter at all, since I saw that I guess they want to remake The Exorcist. I don't really know why you'd want to do that. I don't know what the need for that would be. But, oh, Miss Carter, you never seen the Monster Squad? You definitely give it a watch. It's obviously dated from 1987, but it's definitely enjoyable. If you're a horror fan, it's a must watch. Not that it's a scary movie or anything, but it's definitely a must watch. I love it. I watch it a few times a year. It's one of them horror movies that I can definitely watch with my kids because obviously it's not too graphic, not too violent, and they love it. My youngest really loves the Monster Squad. My wife gets really mad because that's all he wants to watch, and then kind of gets played out, and we get sick and tired of watching it. So, we'll probably watch it about once a month, I'd say. Between that, the Goonies, rotate them off. They've been playing the Goonies at the drive-ins by my house constantly. I was hoping they'd get some Halloween. 80s, hell yeah. 80s horror is the only way to go. 90s, the beginning of the 90s horror was, I don't know, I thought it was pretty terrible. And then Scream came along. And kicked ass. And then we got Scream 2, H2O, The Faculty, which I really love. I need to watch that again. I love The Faculty. With friggin' Josh Hartnett and young Usher. That was a good movie. And then the freaking, what is that? The T-1000 from Terminator 2. He was the gym teacher. I love that one. I don't remember that guy's name, but he was badass as T-1000, and he was badass as that gym teacher. What do you guys think? Any Faculty fans out there? Like I said, I liked it. They could probably. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a remake of that. I know. I saw that you talked about that, Chris. I wish. I was hoping it's getting closer to October that my drive-ins. I got 3 of them within driving distance of my house, and I was hoping one of them would be playing some anything. Friday the 13th, Halloween. I know the one played Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was yeah, thanks, Chris. Robert Patrick. It was a Dusk Till Dawn movie marathon, so it was 6 movies. And Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't until I think like the 3rd one. I wasn't trying to sit there for 12 hours. That's a long time. And I probably wouldn't have been able to stay awake anyway. But I wouldn't have mind seeing Nightmare on Elm Street up on the big screen. I saw the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street in the movie theater. But obviously not the original. I'm also not a big Nightmare guy, so. But I wouldn't mind seeing the original. Popping that in. Question for the chat. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? Talking about Robert Patrick got me thinking. I'm going with Terminator 2. I love Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fighting T-1000. It's pretty badass. Miss Carter going with the original. How many Terminator sequels are there anyway? Now, like 6? Got 1, 2, 3, Genesis, Salvation, Dark Fate. You saw the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah, me too. I saw that opening night. I was super excited. That's whenever they used to have midnight showings, but they don't do that anymore. T2 all the way. Hell yeah. Chris Snyder going with T2. T2 is badass. Terminator 1 is good, but Terminator 2 is legit. I know that question goes along about saying, is Terminator a slasher? What do you guys think about that? You guys think Terminator's a slasher? Since he is stalking Sarah Connor. But I just don't. 6 totals? I guess I was right. I never seen the Dark Fate one yet. I heard mixed things about it. I've just never seen it yet. But I know Christian Bale can do a Terminator movie, then I'm down to watch it. Because I know he did, Salvation, I think. If Batman can do it, got to be semi-good. I just never really got into the sequels as much after 1 and 2. Ah, man. It's turned into out better than I thought, considering I was late. And I didn't think anybody was going to show up. For a while, it was just me and Dan sitting in silence, thinking about if the Denver Broncos are going to win this weekend. Didn't Chris Snyder, didn't Dark Fate kind of take the Halloween 2018 kind of vibes, go back to the original and go from there? That's kind of what I got out of the previews and the trailer and whatnot. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it bombed at the box office and it wasn't very successful. Terminator fan film, I could see that. Did you see that? What is that? The Texas Chainsaw fan film trailer dropped today. The Sawyers. I didn't get to watch it yet. We will win. Yeah, I know. I got that damn. Well, not for you. That damn Monday doubleheader. For me, it's 10:30 start time, I think, which is freaking crazy. All right, yeah, direct sequel to T2 apparently. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were going a Halloween 2018 kind of route with it. I have to give it a shot eventually. I mean, it's on my watch list, but I'm not really too concerned about watching that one right now. But yeah, this was maybe not fun for you guys. Sawyer Massacre. Dang, I have to watch that, Chris. I didn't get to watch that trailer yet. I mean, unless I do it right now, live, I could do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull that trailer up right now. I want to watch it. Bear with me.
You know what I was...
Damn you.
The following film is an account of a tragedy that transpired in an isolated...
I'm watching it right now.
For all who experienced it, an ordinary day became a nightmare.
All right, let's see. You're getting first-hand look at this.
Something bad happened.
We've had a setback. The last one didn't make it.
Yeah, I ain't scared.
We just need one strong one.
I'll have none of what's going on down there.
So where do we go? You'll have to go down to the farm.
Interesting.
Sure, this is the right place?
He said it's his grandpa's house.
I'm pretty sure no one lives there.
Looks creepy as shit.
This is one account of many, and those who survived wished they hadn't.
On to me, we can make
He's really bad.
it. I think we should just run.
What the hell are you doing?
We're all crazy. Everybody.
All right. What's up, Frank Riker? How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, so that was my first look at the Sawyer massacre right in front of you guys. And I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about that one. Like when I watched, I know I'm not being a Jason fanboy, but when I watched Never Hike in the Snow, that got me pretty jacked. Like that got me really pumped up for that. Watching that trailer for the Sawyer massacre, I just didn't. I mean, it looked okay. It didn't do it. It didn't do anything for me. It really didn't do anything for me at all. Like I said, that might just because I'm not a Leatherface super fan. But Alien, what are you guys talking about? Alien versus Predator. Yeah, I saw that. Was not a fan of that either. It was just silly. It really was. I was disappointed by that. I know this. I never even seen the Alien versus Predator sequel. I don't think that was very good either, if what I remember from the trailers and whatnot. But these fan films are getting freaking crazy now. I mean, these fan films are getting pretty in depth. They look kind of like the real thing. Like that obviously wasn't intriguing me that much, but it looked like it was part of that world. Definitely. I don't really know if the trailer explained enough, but I guess it's being a fan film and being short, it can't really give too much shit away, or there's not going to be a movie to watch. You wouldn't even waste your time watching that movie. But back to we got far off topic from the Monster Squad, but that's how these things usually go. You start with one thing and then go bounce back all over the place. Hey, Frank, what do you think about the Monster Squad? You a fan of that 80s classic? I just think it's a good ass fun movie. PG-13. If it would have been rated R, that'd have been crazy. They'd have been killing them little kids probably. I thought like I said, all the kids in the movie, you liked all of them. You didn't like hate any of them. The Horace, the fat kid, whenever they keep calling him, "Hey, fat kid, nice job." She pumps that shotgun. The name's Horace. It's good stuff. Good corny shit. Predator. Oh, what's up, crew member? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, Predator. I do enjoy the Predator a lot, especially the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love pretty much Arnold Schwarzenegger in pretty much anything. Maybe for Christmas time, I might review Jingle All the Way, because I do enjoy that movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger makes that movie hilarious. And he fits a superhero role because he's a freaking huge-ass dude. And he usually plays a hero in pretty much every movie that he stars in. Could do like a top 10 list of Terminator movies. Or not Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Oh, I got you, Chris Snyder. I got you. I didn't really know too much about it. So thanks for filling me in, though. I appreciate that. But yeah, definitely. Anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I said, maybe do a top 5, top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Before he turned into the governor of California and stopped acting. Now he's just super old. But he's still good. We love him. Him and good old Chuck Norris. It's Turbo Time. That's a good-ass movie with Sinbad. Oh, Ashley, I definitely will be doing Jingle All the Way for Christmas. And I'll be doing Black Christmas because oh, God, I still never seen it. I backed It's Me, Billy, but I never even seen the original Black Christmas, so I should probably get on that. Frank says Tango and Cash. I got a lot of movies I need to get on. I'm far behind. I stick with slashers and I don't get off. That's my problem. And there's just so many slashers that I get freaking sucked into the world and there's can't get out of it. There's just so many. And they're so corny and 80s, but I love them. Yeah, Jingle All the Way is definitely one of my top Christmas movies. That and Christmas Vacation. I hope I like Black Christmas too. I want to do it now, but I'm gonna obviously save it for Christmas time. I'll watch some of that with you, Chris, after I watch it on my own for the first time. I definitely want to see it for the first time. I got to be in the Christmas mood. I want to be in the Christmas spirit to watch that one first. I don't want to just go ahead and do it. But so like I said, started off with Monster Squad topics, get off on all these tangents, and I love it because that's what movies and horror does. It gets us going all over the place, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I appreciate everybody that showed up, even though I'm still learning how to do this stuff, and obviously still nervous as I do this stuff, even though I can't see all your lovely faces. Still get nervous. Silent Rage, I want to see that as well. But I got work, so I got to go to bed here soon. But I want to thank you guys again for hanging out with me for a little bit. It would have been longer. Would have went longer if I'd have started earlier. But I got a late start. So hopefully I'll be able to do this again next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'll think about it. And then I will post it on my YouTube, post it on my Facebook and whatnot. But like I said, I do appreciate hanging out with all you guys. You stay safe too, Frank. And Monster Squad rocks. And hopefully they remake it. And then I can review that for you guys. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out. And y'all have a scary ass night.